to the Blamegirl podcast with.
I'm Dan Weiss.
Oh, it's supposed to be Mr. Terry Wayne, and he left. It's weird. Terry, where'd you go? And yes, this is Dan Weiss. Thank you, Dan, for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
I don't know what's going on. Dan, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good. Not too eventful. Just went to the movies.
What did you see?
Saw Bad Guys because that was the only thing playing that looked decent.
I heard a lot of people were watching Top Gun, whatever.
Top Gun has 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
I thought that movie was going to be garbage.
I was going to see that, but I've never actually seen the first one, so I thought I would be lost on it. Do you have to see the first one to really get it?
I don't know. I think it's.
I'm sure to make it better. They got like most of the cast back, don't they?
Yeah, except for Val Kilmer because he can't talk no more.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's all you did was catch a movie. What else did you do this weekend? Anything else?
Friday night, went to see Miss Pat at the Dania Improv.
Miss Pat.
Yeah, the comedian.
Oh, nice. How was it?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah, she was super funny. She's probably one of my top 5 favorite female comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Pat. I'm not even familiar.
She's heavy set. She's got long hair.
All right. Terry, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I had a nice little dinner party with some very rude people.
Clearly talking about me.
Yeah. No, I got to cook, which is my meditation. Hopefully everything I thought came out pretty good, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think okay. So that's my cue, I guess. My weekend was great also.
Nobody cares.
Oh, I think you would care because I was at the dinner party, and that food, y'all. That's a pleasure. It's really good. I am just thinking about pasta and the flavor of meat right now. Very nice. Terry's an amazing cook. I have no criticism.
I hope to try his cooking one day.
Yo, Annie made some. What was the appetizer you made? The tomato.
Oh, that one's definitely in the rotating repertoire now. What's
it called? Tomato.
It is a whipped ricotta topped with a tomato confit, served with baguette toast points.
Oh,
yeah. It's less than $10 too. That's the other thing.
It was so good. So anyway, all right. Well, I think we all had a good weekend. Let's get to some blaming. Are y'all ready to do some blaming?
I'm ready.
All right. Up first, guys. The right is constantly bringing up Chicago whenever we try to talk about local gun violence in any conservative's region. This week, Texas governor brought up Chicago to talk about how it's different there from Texas. Who's to blame? Does he not understand how geography works? Because Chicago's a city and Texas is a state, guys. What do y'all think?
I feel like gun control is a problem everywhere. I think that, yes, Illinois may have some of the stricter laws, but there's a much bigger factor that plays into it than just the whole issue, the gun control issue as to why Chicago is the way that it is. A lot of their neighborhoods are very unsensitive in Chicago, and usually.
But why do they bring it up all the time? Why do you think it's not? Because I get what you're saying. They shouldn't bring it up because it's a very different scenario. But why do they do it?
They're looking for somebody to point fingers at to make their side look good. I feel like, so if they don't have any actual evidence to make their party look good, they search for reasons to fault the other side.
And that's a good dog whistle. Why do you think that is, Terry?
Please, Dan, do not give them the dignity of calling it parties. It's not parties, it's tribes, right? America is very tribal right now. So it really doesn't matter what the other tribe does. It's all already going to be bad. Every Republican GOP lawmaker, every time there's a mass shooting like this, they're not here to fix a problem. They're here to find something else to blame other than the lack of gun control. That's all it is. It's smoke and mirrors.
Chicago?
Why Chicago? Because Chicago's black.
They have
it's a very black
They don't
city.
even have that tough gun laws. It's not like they're banned there. You can have guns. You just gotta go through all the hoops.
Well, no.
barriers.
They just blame the violence. They're saying, see, you got violence too. But gang violence and school shootings are very, very different. Like,
Yeah.
I'm from Memphis, and Memphis is plagued with gun violence a lot, but it's all gang violence, which that's more of a lifestyle than say, I mean, look, there is an
They
argument.
bring up gang violence to be like, look at these violent ass niggas.
No, not really.
I think they do it.
They bring it up
That's
to
what I
say,
think.
like, look, everybody has violence. Everybody has gun violence. It's not just us.
There's
It's
no
not just
violent people. No, it's the gun laws. They're like, oh, look, Chicago has tough laws, and they still got all these violent niggas.
they
That's
don't
what-
have tough gun laws. New York has tough gun laws.
But that's their argument here.
Yeah, and why out of all cities are they choosing Chicago? I mean, I know Chicago's bad, but it's far from the only city that's really bad when it comes to violence. I mean,
It's not even the top.
yeah,
The murder rate in my hometown of Memphis is higher than Chicago.
Is
But
Memphis a conservative or a liberal state?
Tennessee is a red state. Sometimes
Yeah,
they go
pretty
blue
red.
occasionally.
I'm sorry, city.
Oh, no, I mean, the whole state of Tennessee is pretty red. But sometimes they do go blue. Like they
Yeah.
have gone blue before. Al Gore.
Metropolitan cities often do, but they lean red, is what you're saying.
Well, the funny thing is Al Gore is from Tennessee. That's where he started his political career, was in Tennessee. So Tennessee
Yeah.
used to be flip-flopping between red and blue, and then they kind of drank the Kool-Aid like everybody else, and now it's pretty much a red state.
They just ignore actual stats, these guys, because Illinois suffered 1,745 gun deaths in 2020, and in 2020, Texas had 4,164 gun deaths. So they always go straight to the city of Chicago, and I think personally, it has to do with race.
It doesn't. It has to do with dog whistle
The
politics.
racist dog whistle. That's what
No, it has to do with dog whistle politics. And the fact is that, yeah, when they think of gun violence in Chicago, they think of black gangs. But it's just another buzzword. It's just another buzzword. It's like grooming. Grooming's a new buzzword. Some people are using it for one thing, other people are using it for another.
Funny you bring up grooming, because speaking of dog whistle politics, there is no one better at fucking dog whistle politics than Ron DeSantis. Okay, y'all, Ron DeSantis, he has vetoed funding for the Tampa Bay Rays after they tweeted about gun control. Who's to blame? And I just want to add this to it. Today, the Tampa Bay Rays withdrew whatever visual support they were having for Pride Month.
Well, it's classic xenophobia. It's the same thing that just happened with Disney. This is
Not just
cultural.
LGBT though, it's the gun control.
Well-
That is not xenophobia.
Xenophobia is the fear of anything that's different. So, kinda. I'm just saying it is.
I've never heard it used in that context with guns, but okay.
Well, it's not about the guns. It's about the gays in that particular case.
No, he vetoed it based on the guns,
No.
gun control. And then
Well,
maybe they'll get it back because they are now being homophobic. I don't know, but
well. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it's a culture war that's hurting everybody, because you have to come out and be like, it's the same thing with Disney when they were refused their special, what was it, the special district that Disney used to have. Yeah, well, that cost us hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money. Thanks, appreciate that. But I guess you proved your point. This is the classic hill to die on situation.
Why is this allowed though? Who's to blame, Dan?
I feel like it's a combination of people to blame, but with Ron DeSantis, I feel like just like Trump, he's one of those who anybody who he disagrees with him on anything, he immediately goes towards into fight mode and doesn't even think about the logics of what he does next. Only thing he's concerned about is going against what those who disagree with him feel like.
Yeah, he's like, you disagreed with me, I'm gonna not give you money. And that is so wrong for a governor to do, folks.
Do you know what happens? You burn, every time you burn one of those bridges, all you do is go closer and closer and closer to making yourself an island. So I say, let them, burn the bridges, and you're gonna find yourself
an island. This guy is picked to be our next president. Like, that's who the Republicans.
Okay, calm down. No, he's not picked to be our next president.
About Trump. So I'm not gonna.
He's not picked to be our next president. He is a front runner for the Republican candidacy of 2024. We pick who our next president.
Against Biden, he's gonna win. Like, come on.
I doubt that.
And people unfortunately love controversy. That's why they all love Trump so much, because he was controversial.
And maybe that's why he's doing this, because of the controversy. It's like a marketing tool almost.
No, it's a dog whistle. It's saying, oh, you want to take our guns? Fine, we're going to take from you then.
I thought about it, like, I was like, oh, like this baseball team, their baseball team, right? They're tweeting about, the gun violence. I'm like, everybody's fucking sick of it, maybe that's it. And then, but you got this arrogant ass governor that's like, you can't have what you want if you're going to be political. Shut up and just play baseball.
Yeah, I noticed they always say shut up and do whatever. It used to be shut up and sing when musicians would come out. It's always shut up and do blank when you're against what I'm trying to put out there. It's just opposition. It's tribal. I told you. It's just two tribes in America. That's it. And you got to pick one, because nobody likes it when you say you're an independent.
Yeah. And like, what I've noticed is like, even private businesses are not safe anymore, because guys, conservatives are now wanting to cancel Pizza Hut. Who's to blame? That's an American staple. How could they
Pizza Hut should be canceled. What an atrocity that is. I used to work at Pizza Hut. I literally used to work at Pizza Hut.
This is not a time to criticize food. We'll stay focused.
All right.
Guys, I don't know if you know about
I hope
this.
they can.
Pizza Hut has a book club called Book It. And they have a book this year that it's so cute. It's called The Big Wig. And it's about a little boy that's a drag queen. And he puts on this magical wig and all these magical things happen. And they're like, no. But all the gun violence is okay,
It's fear politics. It is fear-based politics. That's all it is. That's all the GOP is. It shouldn't even be called the GOP anymore. It should be called the GQP. That's what it should be called, because it's all these fear-based politics. There's hordes of immigrants coming to the border. Oh, the Democrats want to destroy America. Why? They live here too, stupid. I can't even. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. And I love how so many of the GOPs talk out of their ass, like all the ones who think that Biden actually has control over the gas prices. I mean, clearly they don't know what's going on in the world if they think that, because if anything, the war is a big reason why gas prices have risen so much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously, when your supply gets cut off, which even a small percentage like Russian supplies, when those get cut off, the demand is still there, the supply is less, the prices go up. You get a choice. What's your choice going to be? You either get to support evil and have lower prices, or you get to pay higher prices and fight against evil. But it would be like if the Nazis sold cheap. It would be like if the Nazis sold cheaper gas. Would we buy it? Some, I think, might.
Maybe fiscal conservatives would. I don't know.
And in terms
I don't
of
know.
canceling Pizza Hut, Pizza Hut's a good part of the American economy. I mean, it's very economic to our country. It's been around since
It's an American staple. It's like canceling McDonald's. It's
No.
like, oh, fuck you, McDonald's, because you're celebrating Pride or something. It's
Well,
so
believe it or not, Pete, because now you're in my realm. I mean, you coming to pizza, you're coming to me. So
we're not criticizing pizza.
I know,
Gary.
I got it. I'm just saying, Pizza Hut is number 3 out of the large chains, and it's almost about to lose that way to Marco's. Like, Pizza Hut has been dwindling over the years. Like, it's gonna be gone soon anyway. You know,
Maybe not if they're gonna get support from the LGBTQ community. I don't know.
maybe that was the plan all along.
There's a lot of people here tonight. It's gonna be a good night, I think.
yeah, Pizza Hut's been around since when, like the 60s, I think.
Yeah, it's just beyond me how they. And then another thing about it is like, because the girl that I went to high school with, she's a sweet woman, but she's like, she wasn't in a. She was like, maybe shouldn't be teaching this to kids, and I'm like, this is not even school. This is a private company, like. And then another thing about this is the hypocrisy of it all for me, is that they're canceling Pizza Hut, and they hate cancel culture. So what is it gonna be, y'all? Like, make up your mind.
Well, they don't hate cancel culture. Okay. Conservatives were canceling Disney. Conservatives were canceling Disney when I was a teenager in the 90s because they had because they had gay pride dates. So, conservative Christians were calling for a boycott of Disney long ago.
They just mind their business,
That's what we've done. 2 separate words for white people about minding your own damn business and how the world would be a better place.
You know what? The good thing about what Pizza Hut's doing, it's inclusion. There are people that are growing up that are like, that's an art form, drag queen. And there are little boys growing up that want to be drag queens. Let them start early so that they can be Tiger Woods of being drag queens. I don't know why it's so hard. Leave these kids alone.
Here's the thing.
Drag queens will be around. They're gonna be here.
Why does it matter to your life? Why does it matter to your life? Oh God, you got a problem with drag shows? Are they afraid
their kid wants to be a drag queen?
If you don't want to go to drag shows, don't go. That's it. It's just like people who say they get offended by comedy. Nobody's forcing you to be here. They just don't like the fact that it exists. It's classic xenophobia. It's different. It's weird. They don't like it, so they don't want it to be around.
It's a book about wigs, and what's interesting is our founding fathers wore wigs.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Men used to wear wigs, and now y'all are like, oh, don't teach men about wigs. Shut up.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense. But.
It's stupid. Yeah.
The reality is people who are like drag queens and stuff, they have a lot less control than some people think they do as to whether or not they choose that lifestyle, because it's one of those things where it may somewhat be a choice, but overall it's how you feel about yourself. If you really feel that way about yourself, you can't control that really, because that's just who you are. That's how you were brought up,
born that way. Right?
So I feel like if it was as much of a choice as certain people, especially GOPs, make it out to be, that they wouldn't be so afraid to come out and present themselves like that, but they're afraid to because they're worried about being judged for who they are. And nobody chooses to go through that kind of hardship.
Yeah. Well,
Well, no, some people do.
Yeah, sometimes
Some people like the
I
attention that
want
comes with a hardship.
yeah,
That's why you get
I don't know.
college, that's why you get white college girls that, oh, I have, I'm bipolar too, or I have this or that. They like the attention that comes with
Speaking
having.
of white bipolar girls, let's move on to the next topic. Johnny Depp and
Right.
Amber Heard, the most important topic of the fucking last 2 weeks. Of course.
We're moving on right in the middle of my sentence. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you weren't done.
That's fine. Amber Heard, shitting in bed.
Want to finish? I
No,
don't want to be an Amber Heard.
it won't change anything. It's fine.
All right,
Y'all
y'all.
don't shit the bed and you won't be her.
Johnny Depp won his defamation case this week against Amber Heard. Who's to blame, guys?
Well, granted, I'm biased because Amber Heard reminds me of so many girls I've known in the past who are heinous, notorious liars like that. So my answer is probably going to be pretty biased because just seeing her on the news and everything brings back bad memories of some girls I've dealt with in the past, including a couple exes of mine.
Of course, all men are gonna say this. They're gonna be like, "Oh, this reminds me of my ex. I had a crazy ex." And then
No.
what I don't like about this is that because whenever I meet a guy and he's like, "Oh, my ex is crazy," I'm like, "What'd you do to her?" But I can't say that about Amber Heard. She just seemed like she came in crazy, So, what do you think, Terry?
Well, that's the reason why it has captivated the nation. I mean, this is basically a couple spat that has now gone legal, into the legal realm. But
Yeah.
every woman is going to believe every woman first, and every man's going to believe every man first, because we all have our own experiences. But our experiences are actually kind of shared, because everybody's been in a bad relationship. Every straight man's been in a bad relationship with a straight woman. Every straight woman's been in a bad relationship with a straight man. Every gay woman has been in a bad relationship with a gay woman, and every gay man has been in a bad relationship with a gay man. People suck. No, listen, I'm just saying, people suck. Sometimes people suck. That's the thing we're not getting. Sometimes people suck, and it really doesn't matter what genitalia you have.
I can't disagree.
Yeah, of course she sucks. And guess what? Johnny Depp, I heard that trial. I listened to the details like everybody else. Johnny Depp kind of sucks too. Like they both suck. She just sucked more.
She was the crazier one.
Yeah, but they're both fucking nuts. And why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't Johnny Depp be crazy?
Like, she's clearly to blame because she's the one who lost. But what's weird to me, guys, is that she won in the UK. How do we explain that?
They have different standards of evidence.
Yeah.
Their legal system's actually still about their legal system. It's not about the court of public opinion like ours is.
So do you think that maybe we got the verdict wrong here?
I think the whole thing should have been thrown out of court. But that's just me. But we had to put on the show. We had to put on the circus.
I think they met the elements for defamation. Definitely. I don't think.
I mean, yes, but do I really believe that Johnny Depp lost out on any future revenue because of it? No. No, he's.
You know what? I know
he's still one of the biggest stars in the world. He's still got
anymore.
He's still got.
Oh yeah.
He's still got like 20 something houses. He still has over $100 million. Like he's fine. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. Johnny Depp's gonna be okay.
He lost it. It was the Fantastic Beasts
of Dumbledore. Right?
That's some big money.
Oh please, he wanted out of that so bad. It was crazy. He was like, "Oh, I can go. Okay."
No,
thank
he
you.
didn't. He was Grindelwald.
Look, that is a failed franchise. It is an absolutely failed franchise.
You need to go look up the revenues for that franchise. That is not a failed franchise.
Do you think
it very much is. I don't know any Harry Potter fans that were happy with that entire franchise right from the beginning.
Do you think his presence would have helped the box office? Because I heard that movie was a flop.
Oh, the Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah, I heard it
I
was.
don't
Yeah.
know why, because you know what, Jude Law is who plays Dumbledore, so I don't understand why it would have been.
Well, Johnny Depp played Grindelwald, the villain.
Thank you for explaining that to us. I said that like 3 times.
I'm explaining it to them.
I said it already 3 times. But anyway.
Okay. Well, you said Jude
The
Law.
thing
Like,
I would have died to see, guys, is Johnny Depp and Jude Law looking like they were in love with each other, because that's the thing about Grindelwald and Dumbledore. They were in love, and they had this like love. So I wanted to see that passion exchange between Johnny Depp and Jude Law, but instead I got some other actor, and I'm not happy about it, and I blame Amber Heard a little bit.
I think there was also jealousy on her part because she was so overshadowed by him.
Yeah.
And she always will be.
Do you think that?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they replace him with Mads Mikkelsen?
Who?
Mads Mikkelsen is who replaced Johnny Depp, correct?
I don't even know who that is.
Okay.
Maybe.
If that's the case, then the whole thing should have gotten better, because Mads Mikkelsen is a far superior actor to Johnny
I'll
Depp.
say this about whoever they put, like the passion in his eyes was there. He was good. He wasn't bad, but I would have preferred Johnny Depp.
He's just
And Jude Law. It's like the Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger thing, you know. Ladies, back me up. I don't know.
the whole
I don't think they come back yet.
Yeah, it was hot. I gotta say that. All right. I'll move on. I've exposed myself a little too much. Yeah, I will watch some gay boys make out. All right, so let's move on to comedy.
Alrighty.
All right, so welcome Dan Weiss. He is one of South Florida's most notoriously savage comics. Who's to blame? No, we'll get to that later.
So,
Dan, how long have you been doing comedy?
11 and a half years.
How did you get started?
Back when, before I had a car, I just happened to be riding my bike past an open mic, and they're like, hey, you want to see a free show?
Mm-hmm.
It was something I always wanted to get into, but I never had the balls to till I was 26. And then when I went to the free show, they needed somebody to solicit flyers for them, so I volunteered to do that. And after doing that for a couple weeks, they're like, hey, you want to try your hand at this next week? We'll put you up for a few minutes. So I wrote material. I went back, performed it, and it went better than I expected. So from there, I then did a few more minutes the next week, and I just kept writing and going back week after week until eventually I branched out at other venues and became part of the community.
It's interesting that you say like you went somewhere and then they asked you to do something, you know, like the flyers and stuff, because I mean, I got my start by doing a class, and Ramon Garcia, who we need to get on, I don't know if you've gotten him in the queue, but Ramon Garcia was like, you got to be out there, you got to be present, because you never know when someone's going to be like, hey, can you cover, you know? That actually happened to me. I forgot Friday. That happened to me Friday. I went with Joanna to a show she was on in Port St. Lucie, and 2 of the comics couldn't make it because they were coming from Miami. It was raining, and I got put up. So yeah.
Yeah, after about 8 years of my life wanting to do it, but never having the balls, and then finally had the opportunity, I'm like, this is truly shit or get off the pot time for me.
Yeah. So tell me this: in your 11 years of comedy,
Well,
and it could be what?
I was just gonna say, like, the main thing about being out all the time is, you know, that's what helps you grow your reputation. That's what helps you get booked. You know, if that's your goal, is to grow and be more notable and have more notoriety, you got to be out there, because it's out of sight, out of mind, but it also works the other way too.
Yeah.
You know, if they see you all the time and you're doing well, you're going to get booked like that. So, I mean, when I was in that life and I wanted to do that, and I wanted to build my notoriety, I was out 4 or 5 nights a week.
How often do you go out, Dan?
Usually at least 3 times a week. I hosted a room once a month in Hollywood. Was previously hosting another room, which just got discontinued.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I did see that on Facebook. Sorry to hear about it.
Hey,
Yeah.
they come and they go, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite venue? And you can't say
Improvs. No improvs.
My absolute favorite venue. Does the Boca Black Box count? Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
I like that place because it's
the black box or the black box 2.0.
Yeah, the Black Box 2.0.
Okay. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that.
Mike Cintron.
Yeah, he's a great host. He's a good
Agreed.
sport. I always make fun of him about his size when I'm on stage, and he takes it like a champ.
Yeah, I mean, he makes fun of his size too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is a good, it's like a nice little intimate room, and they definitely come for comedy because they're like just right there, all in a row. I know what you mean. That is a good feel. And that's like a first on the Blamegirl podcast. We hadn't gotten that before. So I got to make sure to let Mike know that we got a favorite for one of his venues.
And when you're performing in front of an actual audience like that, it gives you a much better feel for how good of a comic you are. Because when it's a stiff crowd, you could be like the greatest comic on the scene, but if the crowd's not there to laugh, they're not going to be paying attention.
And then just to go back, like that room, like I saw it grow, and it did not have very big crowds at first, but the last couple of times I've been there, it's been packed, like it's always that room out every time. So,
and just to correct you, Gio, you said you wanted to let Mike know that one of his venues was somebody's favorite. We've had plenty of his venues as favorite. Mad Robot, Funky Buddha, same thing.
Right.
Dada's. You got to remember, he's had a bunch of rooms.
Yeah, he does run some hot rooms. All right, so what has been your favorite moment or most memorable moment doing comedy, Dan?
My most memorable moment, I would say probably a few months ago when I did my first ever New Faces show. I had up until
your first New Faces show in 11 years?
Yeah, up until this year, I had never done a New Faces show, and getting up there on stage and crushing it gave me the boost of confidence that I've always been longing for since the day I started comedy.
Where did you do it at?
The Dania Beach Improv.
Those improvs, that's why you can't, if you're remotely funny, you're gonna get some laughs at the improv. So yes, it feels great when you go up at an improv. It just does. So I understand.
Well, it's obviously prime position. It's no televisions, no phones, no conversation. Like the room's dark, lights are on you, you're the center of attention. If you can't get laughs in that room, I don't know what to tell you.
But it's crazy how it took him 11 years to hit that room and be like, yo, this is one of my favorite moments. So that's awesome.
That's not
don't
that
let say the
uncommon.
improv, because that'll come like.
But yeah, the main reason it took me so long was I was so bad at getting 10 people to come out in the past. And
yeah, I hear that. But you know what? That's why. So I started with the class, and I did the class 3 times because you can just pay to go on the improv stage, and then you feel great automatically. Like, it's awesome. All right, so that's all. Like, we know about your favorite venue and your favorite moments. What has been your biggest challenge being a comedian?
My biggest challenge, I would say, is finding constant new material to write. Like, I'll admit that a lot of my jokes I reuse over and over again. Mainly because I'm always so overwhelmed with work and stuff. I have a lot of trouble finding the time to really sit down and write new material.
Yeah, that is, it's hard to get that, but I won't even act like it's hard, but like I am constantly writing, because I'm just, if something comes, I write that shit down and I go try it right away. But
yeah, and don't forget your voice recorder on your phone is always a handy tool.
He does that with his, that's how he, so what do you do when you think of new jokes? Do you think of new jokes like while you're out and you don't get to write them down and maybe you forget them? Or
Yeah, a lot of times they come to me while I'm at work. I work in a warehouse, and I'm sure a lot of my coworkers think I'm schizophrenic because I always sound like I'm talking to myself,
Yeah.
but really what I'm doing when I'm walking around putting heavy boxes away is I'm sort of talking to myself, thinking of new jokes to write.
Wait a minute. So you're not schizophrenic?
No.
Oh, all
speaking
right.
of, Dan, who are you? Tell us about yourself. He's not schizophrenic, we know that. But like, were you from Florida?
Check that off the list.
What's your day job?
My day job, I work at Cardinal Health currently. I'm working in a warehouse, pretty much lifting really heavy ass boxes all day for 9 hours. And I was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I've been down here in South Florida for 17 years. I'm older than a lot of people think. I'm 37. A lot of people think I'm like 27, but I came down here when I was 20, came down for school. And one of the reasons I never went back is I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to cold weather. So after being down here for over 2 years, I went back to visit my parents in the winter time, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. And
Well, did you do comedy when you went back? Did you try that out?
yeah, I've done a couple of shows at Helium Comedy Club up in Philly. I would actually say the scene down here is better than the scene in Philly.
I like that you said. I mean, a lot of people. It'd be interesting if you said that after experiencing the New York, LA scene. But I feel like a lot of people are saying that. Drew Illa, we all know Drew Illa. He's in LA and he's just like, man, the scene here. He's like, the scene better in Florida. I'm like, I believe it.
Yeah,
So-
we have a.
Well, it depends on what you want out of it.
I think in all around, we have a very underrated all art scene down here in South Florida, from comedy to musicals to just about any kind of live theater. South Florida's got a lot going for it, but we don't market ourselves the way that places like LA, New York, or Chicago do. So
Well, I think also it changed after COVID, like
Yeah.
because we remained so open, and that just changed things. And then on top of that, LA, New York, you got those 3-minute mics.
yeah,
Austin's got this
1 minute.
in New
1 minute
York.
mics.
New York.
In New York, yeah, New York and LA both have 1 minute mics. Figure that one out.
That sounds like Kill Tony. I mean, like
Yeah. Well, that's
What-
essentially what
like
they've
what are
become.
you gonna get out in 1 minute that I'll tell Giovanni and that's it. I'll tell one joke.
yeah. How do you even introduce yourself?
I know. I completely agree. The art form does not really lend itself to a hurried, to a hurried set. That doesn't. You can't even build a rapport.
Yeah, I know. Basically, you would be introducing yourself, and then 10 seconds later, it would be, well, y'all have been great. Goodbye.
I can't even imagine. So I think that that's definitely a blessing down here. Is like, was it like that in Philadelphia, or did you get 5 minute, 10 minute?
Yeah, we got like 7 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I also got to say, I think that the comics down here are more talented than the ones I
That's
experienced
right,
up in Philly.
bitch. Yes. We
When I-
talented out in South Florida.
The first time I went to an open mic up in Philly, one of the comics plagiarized Dave Chappelle.
And didn't get busted? I
Yeah,
feel like that's the easiest one to get busted. I mean, a lot of comics do plagiarize. Let's be honest. Like, I hear them doing it down here. So,
but he plagiarized one of Chappelle's best segments, the Sesame Street segment from Killing Them Softly.
Well,
and then that's something else I realized. I was talking because there was a comic that was on the scene, and I don't see him anymore. And I was talking to another comic about him that was good friends, and they were like, Oh, he's an actor and he was just stretching his legs. He did mostly other people's materials, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize it, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
very
happens.
prevalent in Los Angeles. When you go
Oh
out
yeah.
there, oh yeah, 100%. You get actors, models, they're just
And
trying
they
to
be
pad
doing
their
other people's
CV.
material.
Well, they're trying to pad their CV. Their agent will tell them like, "Oh, go do some sets so we can put stand up on your CV."
Do they tell
Yeah.
them to fucking do other people's sets?
No, they just tell them to do a set. But yeah, that's what happens a lot of times. Is you'll get a lot of street jokes, or you'll get a lot of plagiarized material, stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, it's just part of it.
All right.
But that's what's great about comedy. Comedy finds out. It
Yeah.
finds out who
You ain't
you
gonna
are.
excel doing that shit. Like,
Well, it's not even that. It's this. It eventually that well's going to run dry because you can't just keep doing it. So then when you get put on the spot and you have to be funny and you can't do it, it finds out. Like you can't really run from this.
Yeah, kind of like how Dennis Leary's second special where he didn't plagiarize sucked ass.
Yeah.
Did you ever see his
Yeah.
second special?
all right.
Yeah.
So
In fact, just while we're on it, Dennis Leary, his most famous bit, I'm an asshole, stolen from Louis C.K.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Louis
But I
CK
guess
said
he's
it
the bigger
on-
asshole because he stole his whole set.
Yeah, no, Louis C.K. told that story, I believe it was on Opie and Anthony.
Oh, Bill Hicks. Okay.
Yeah, Bill Hicks.
So-
that's who he mainly
Yeah.
stole from.
Bill Hicks was another one, yeah.
Dan, do you have any other projects? Do you have rooms or any podcasts or anything that you want to mention?
Yeah, the room I'm currently hosting, it's called Twisted Roots. It's in downtown Hollywood, Young Circle. It's a kava bar. And it's a really nice room. The comics are usually really happy there.
Good.
I host once a month. My next show is this Friday there. And I do have a podcast. It's on Apple. It's audio. It's called Vanilla Weiss and the Nostalgic Nerds. And
Vanilla Weiss and the Nostalgic Nerds. Guys.
Yeah.
They eating them member berries.
yeah, oh yeah, hence the title. It's of course nostalgia based, and a good buddy of mine in California who helped me start it is somebody who was actually a child star back in the 80s and 90s.
On what show? Because we old enough now.
Different Strokes.
Okay.
He was also, do you remember that Nickelodeon show, Salute Your Shorts?
Oh, yes.
Remember Budnick, the redhead kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Budnick.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was also in Terminator 2. He was John Connor's friend with the red
I
mullet.
posted.
Yeah,
it
yeah, the one-
today. I posted. it
Yeah,
today.
he's in a meme
Brian
now.
Coronado posted because he's the one that threw the cops off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a
good buddy of mine, and
That's crazy.
he's on most of my podcast episodes.
Definitely have to check it out.
well,
All right.
he's a
Are you
meme
ready?
now. That's the meme that says he saved the future by lying to a cop.
Yeah, that's the meme.
Yeah, I mentioned that in one of my episodes. He's like, "Hey, I ain't no snitch, bitch."
Yeah, you did. All right. So, are you ready to play the blame game, Dan?
I am.
All right. You were described as savage. Who's to blame?
I would say myself because I decided to go with the shtick of really dark humor and
I agree. You do.
really offensive humor, and the main reason I came up with that shtick was because I wanted to stand out from the rest of the comics. I feel like your best chance of making it in the industry is to be unique and not be like your competition.
Don't be a basic bitch.
Yeah,
Right? Okay, I like that. I like that. That's why you went savage, because you don't want to be a basic bitch.
that and all of my favorite comics, some of the best of all time, were ones who were able to take the darkest, most unfunny material and make it hilarious. And
Yeah.
so I feel like it takes more skill to turn something unfunny funny
Yeah.
than it does to take an easy target
Terry Wayne knows about this, don't
Yeah.
he?
like toilet humor. I try not to do too much of because that's too easy a target.
No, I don't. I wouldn't call you. You do humor that is like dark. I would call it dark because it's like stuff that is like World War II, or, you know, like just. But you do make it funny. So, all right. Do you want to give everyone your social media so if they want to follow you, they can, and tell us when your next performance will be? I know you said you had Twisted Kava coming up this weekend.
Yep, June 10th. June 10th, this Friday, is Twisted Roots Kava Bar. And my social media is Dan Weiss. The picture is me on the stage at the Improv. My cover photo is one of me with Don King from 11 years ago. And on Instagram, it's under Weiss5828.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, are y'all ready for words for white people? The floor is yours.
I don't think
Terry.
they are. I don't think they're ready.
The floor is yours, Terry Wayne.
All right. We're doing gun control. I don't like how people act like we've never had it. We have had it. We had it when I was a teenager. There was an assault weapons ban in America, and we had very, very few mass shootings. Columbine happened during the assault weapons ban. That's true. But the weapons they used weren't assault weapons. They used shotguns, I believe a Tech 9, which wasn't included, even though it totally should have been. But no, we had an assault weapons ban from 1994 till 2004. It was signed into law under a mixed Congress and signed into law by Bill Clinton. We had very few mass shootings. Then we took it away, and now we have them all the time. Like this, the math isn't really hard to do. When you have something called an assault weapon, it might be used to assault people, right? Like, yeah. I mean, you literally named it after that. If you gave somebody an axe and said, "Hey, this is a murder axe," they're probably not going to chop wood with it. Exactly. Like, it's not really that difficult. We all know what the problem is. We know what the problem is. And I'll go you one further than that. Why not just go all the way? If you have the right to bear arms, sure, pistols, shotguns, go for it. Rifles, why not? Bolt actions. Okay, well, semi-autos. Okay, well, assault weapons. Okay, well, let's go to plastic explosives. Why can't I buy that? What, surface to air missiles? Why can't I get that? Why can't I buy my own tank? Like, where there is always going to be a line, and we just need to adjust the line. I'm not trying to take away people's guns. I have a gun in my home right now. My sister has a gun in her home right now. My father has many guns in his home right now. None of those are enough to kill 50 people. Okay? Now you say, oh, well, you can't have plastic explosives because that's too dangerous. Well, I guarantee you that a pound of plastic explosives in your hands is less dangerous than an AR-15 and a couple of high capacity clips in mine. Okay? I was trained, I was raised with guns. If I snap one day and you give me an AR-15 with a few high capacity clips, that's going to do way more damage than a pound of explosives in your hands. I'm not advocating the violence on either side. I'm just introducing the logic, okay? If somebody is gonna snap, we should take the tools of mass murder out of their hand. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. Just take the tools of mass murder out of crazy people's hands. I know that makes you uncomfortable because you feel like it's your God-given right to own a death machine, but it isn't. It's not. The Constitution says that you're allowed to bear arms as a part of a well-regulated militia. That's the verbatim quote. And the part that I want you to think about is the well-regulated part. Because in modern day vernacular, that would mean gun laws.
Also,
What?
the militia is the National Guard. I'm just saying. Are you?
Well,
didn't-
I understand that. I'm just saying the well-regulated part is the part I want people to focus on.
The National Guard is regular. Okay. Are you? I'm sorry to cut you off. Are you done, sir?
Well, yeah, that's basically what I was saying is well-regulated means regulated. And modern day gun nuts hate regulations, but it's right there in the Constitution for any half-wit to see and understand. Regulations are important when it comes to muskets, but it's super important when it comes to a machine that can kill 100 people inside of an hour.
Yeah, and back then.
So if you really give a shit about your kids and you really give a shit about this problem, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike AR-15s. I've shot them myself. They're extremely fun. They really are. They're fun guns to shoot. They are. I've shot assault weapons before. They're very fun. But your fun is not worth the price of admission. It just isn't anymore. Okay? It isn't. The devil came in, and now it's time for you to give up your fun. Okay? For the greater good.
We got to keep Terry from being able to get an assault weapon. I'm worried about this, actually.
What's that?
We got to keep Terry from being able to get an assault weapon. I'm worried about this.
Well, if they
Like, I
really
need
want
to
an
put it on
assault,
the list.
Yeah, exactly.
look, if they really want an assault ban in America to come back like it was in the 90s, all we have to do is convince a bunch of black and brown people to buy assault weapons, and then we'll have an assault weapons ban.
So you think I should go get an assault weapon?
I think you should get 10. Buy 10 of them.
Fuck no, I ain't trying to die. All right, guys, it's been real. Terry, you got anything coming up?
I'm just here, man.
Same. I got nothing for this week that I know of. So I'll tell y'all about what I got going on the rest of the month next week.
But we do have some very special guests coming up. It's going to be some fiery debates.
I can't wait.
Yep.
I can think of one of them. So, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Dan, tell them where we can catch you this week.
This week, Thursday night, I'm going to be part of the New Faces show at the Dania Beach Improv. Show starts at 8 p.m.
And
then,
they just say your name to get in?
Yeah, just say my name and you get in for free. And Friday night, I'm going to be hosting at Twisted Roots Kava Bar in Hollywood Young Circle. Show starts at 9 p.m. Hope to see you all there. There's an open mic that follows the main show. So if anybody wants to try their hand at comedy, come to the open mic portion of the show.
All right. Thank you for being our guest.
Thanks, Dan, for coming out. Appreciate it, Dan.
Until next week, guys. Think about who's to blame.
Yeah.